Welcome to a new episode of Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Liz Lyuth.
I'm Eddie Connor, and you're in luck because this episode is about living your authentic self, which is a remarkable show because we get to help you pull that soul essence and frequency to you and through you so you can share that light of your authenticity to the world.
Enjoy the show. So today we're talking about living your authentic self, Eddie. So the question is, what is authenticity? Other words that describe authenticity are true, faithful, honest, trustworthy, genuine, real. What do you think, Edward?
Living our authentic self is every one of these things you just said, Liz.
Give me an example. Give me some sort of an example of being your authentic self. You can talk about yourself in your life being authentic.
Okay, then when I'm done talking about myself, Liz can talk about herself. So my authentic self, what I learned the hard way is all of the authenticity is also tied to your personal uniqueness.
Yes.
Your personal way of perceiving the world. And whenever I was a kid growing up, I was creative and artistic.
Yeah.
And I was very psychic. Did a medium as well, meaning I was able to see dead people.
Yes.
I was amazingly sensitive, and I liked hanging out with girls and women more than I liked hanging out with boys and men as I was growing up. And every one of those things were frowned upon when you're growing up. So what I've noticed about my personal authenticity as a kid and then a young man growing up.
Comparing then to now.
Well, what most young people do is they purposefully, like I did, pull away from the things that made me authentic and shut it down so that I could, quote, fit into everybody else's little cookie cutter curriculum. And so the very things that made me unique, I was dumbing down. The very things I desired and wanted to do, from drama, theater, dance class, painting, drawing, all of these things, and hanging out with girls. You know, I wasn't attracted to them, and I felt safer around the frequency of women and girls than I did men and boys. So as I was younger, I had to pull out from that because of the sensitivity. I was told, I'm going to send you to military school.
Oh, yeah.
When he gets older, I'm going to butch him up, which is funny because my dad's name was Butch. What kind of damn sick karma was that for a gay person? So I was constantly told I was going to be butched up, to man up, don't cry. I'll give you something to cry about.
Oh, yeah.
Those were uniquely who I was authentically to the core of my being. So I had to be something I wasn't so I wouldn't get beat up, so I wouldn't get hurt. And now I'll just tell young people, and you can too, right?
Yeah.
Everything I was trying to dumb down and hide from authentically is exactly what I built my entire life on as an adult. Every single thing. Yeah. The sensitivity, the intuition, the creativity, the artistic expression. I haven't worked for anybody except for myself since 1995. Because I followed my authentic voice. Yeah. So when you say authenticity, other words for it are being faithful. It's faithful to who you are, trusting your own worthiness, and also being true and genuine and real.
Yeah, absolutely, being real, being who you are.
Who is your authentic self? I mean, who were you as a child authentic, and how did you grow into that?
Well, as a child, like you, I was sensitive, I was intuitive, and I was told not to talk about it.
Yes.
Not to speak up, and I was very artistic. I loved to draw and paint and write and, daydream about different things, very odd things. I would look at something and I would have a different thought about it. I'd look at clouds and I'd see people in the clouds. And, and I would be laying down on the grass and just looking above and just saying, oh my God, I can't wait until I can leave this place to be who I am.
Wow.
I remember that very clearly.
And
And
who am you?
who am me?
Who am you?
Who am me?
Who you is?
So for many years, initially I was used to model many years ago, and I danced. I did, catwalk, and I did photographic modeling.
I wish we knew each other back in the day.
And it's very similar. And then when I came back to the United States, I got married. I fell back into this corporate, I didn't have time to be these things. I didn't have the time to do it. So
it's also not very allowed in corporate back in that day, in those decades.
I try to fit in. You have to fit in. You have to
be responsible and make a living.
Responsible. You have to toe the line. There's a format that you have to follow. You have to learn. You have to do in order to get to the next level, in order to follow and be and do. So finally now, and I think that for many years, I always had two things that I did. I did my channeling, I did my meditation classes, I did my healing courses, I did my healing work, and I also was in corporate at the same time for many, many years. And now it's deciding to do what I love the most.
Yep.
And not put myself into that box. I want to say a corporate box. I mean, you know what corporations are as well.
Flat out, which is the reason I work for myself now. And Liz is going to talk just a second, ask the question about what is it being your authentic self. And you're touching on it in a beautiful way. And I did it too. I was the closet, which is so funny. Part of my authenticity to the core of my being is my sexuality.
Yeah.
And that was forbidden. Seeing dead people's forbidden. Being sensitive is forbidden. Being artistic and creative when everybody's out duck hunting and everything back in the woods, okay? And watching Deliverance for fun. It's Thanksgiving. Let's watch Deliverance. Baron chicka down. I mean, what that? And so I was working my corporate America job. I would leave my job at corporate America and I would either be dancing half naked in a cage. Girls got to eat.
Yep.
And
girls got to eat.
And then I was teaching dance classes.
Yeah.
And I was a coat check girl in a nightclub.
Yeah.
And I was secretly taking classes on enhancing my intuition. And all of these things, like we worked corporate America, we were the responsible adults. However, our authenticity was calling to our heart to follow our purpose.
So you can say that it compelled you, something inside you compelled you to follow that path.
It did.
Yeah.
100%.
I totally
It's
agree.
like you feel like you're going to
Amen,
die.
sister.
If you, it feels like, I don't know why I just felt like I was going to ask for Girl Scout cookies. I swear. Thin mints. They don't taste as good as they used to.
No.
Well, if you eat the box at one time especially. You got to throw some ice cream in there and shake that shit up. Okay. So what we would do is we would do the responsible adult thing, fit in while we were secretly honoring our authenticity as intuitives, channelers, sensitive people, creative people. Like, we're very creative.
Yeah. We're very creative. So we'll get back to what is being your authentic self. To be your authentic self is to dig deep into your soul, into your heart, your mind, and cultivate the truest aspect of yourself, of who you are from the inside out, not as some scary homework assignment from the universe, but for the joy of it, for the feeling of happiness that you want to do it.
Exactly. And in this season 2 of Coming Out with Liz and Eddie, I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyuk.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking about living your authentic self. And when we're talking about working in corporate, being responsible, however, we have to follow our inner truth, our inner guidance system. And what I was going to say is in the previous show this season, We talked about the 7 and under emotional belief inventory. We had another show on the good kid syndrome, another show on self-sabotage, which ties into this a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because when you don't see other people around you as a child from birth to 7 years old, getting to be their authentic self and follow their authentic inner guidance system, then you know, feel, sense, and believe it's not safe for you to do it either. And then as we get a little older, then we still don't see enough people following it. It was when I got in high school, senior high, ninth grade and up, I saw color guard, marching band, dance teams, art class, and theater and painting props. And that's the first time I got clicked into the frequency of who my authentic self was.
So the creative sphere, that's part of your soul.
That's right.
You're connected to that.
There's 2 kinds of spheres with that. There's the creative sphere that Liz is talking about, where you will always, from birth to 7, you will be drawn to and act on your authentic soul's frequency until you're told you can't. When you get a little older, you secretly do the things that your authentic soul is speaking for you to do, even though the authorities or parents or whatever around you are telling you not to, or that you're not allowed to.
Or talking you out of it.
Or making you feel bad for doing it.
Yeah.
So when you get older and your authentic heart frequency is calling you to your life purpose over and over and over, that's not a creative sphere. That becomes a creative atmosphere. So the atmosphere is when you are creating a little universe around yourself where you're accidentally self-sabotaging your authentic self from coming out.
So, but I feel, and in addition to that, I feel that every soul is connected. When you come to this earth, you have these aspects of yourself that you're connected to. They're like threads. And so regardless of whether or not you're being talked out of being who your authentic self is, or you're told not to do this, there was something inside of me that was on fire, that I had to do this thing. And so at a certain point in my life, for whatever reason, there may be a timing in your soul that tells you at a certain moment, certain events happen in your life that will lead you to the place that you need to be in. And I honestly, truthfully believe that that's part of your authentic self, your soul. You may not be consciously aware of it, but your soul is aware of it. And you will follow those leads. Anytime you're excited about those things, that will help bring out more of your authentic self. And that's what happened to me. Different events. I saw a channeling event. I had dreams in which it told me this will happen to you. Mm-hmm. And it did. My dreams are very clear. And so many people, they will have these dreams. You will be compelled, like I was talking to you earlier, you feel compelled to act in a certain way, to go to a certain place. These are signs from the universe that are helping you to bring you back to your authentic self, your soul.
That's right.
Your soul self.
And the older you get, your resistance to being your unique, authentic self gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Your desire gets amplified and ramped up. So you almost, and you will have, like you said, people, places, circumstances, situations that will be put on your path. The more you polish the authenticity within you for the joy of it consistently, even if you don't tell another human on planet Earth, you will be divinely put at the right place at the right time. Absolutely. With the right people.
Yep.
That keep opening those doors and sets it up so you can safely, in an environment that enhances your well-being, start to pursue those aspects of yourself.
Yeah, and in addition, it's like you'll be given opportunity, and you can say, again, I know I keep bringing this up, free will and choice, but different situations will come out, different opportunities will keep happening to you to help you, move you to the path that your soul had wanted before you came to this earth, that you agreed upon, that you want to come, one of your agreements, this is part of your contract. you will be given the opportunity. You will be given the moment that this should happen to you. I look at the stories that you tell about your life. That's happened to you. It's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So this will also happen to you, but you will given that opportunity to say yes or say no.
That's right.
Right?
100%. And sometimes you get hard knocks. Sometimes your soul group, your soul pod, your pre-birth planning group, your soul chooses a hard knock life, especially the first 7 years or so that you are living the opposite, literally the antithesis of what you're here to do. But nothing is ever wasted because I have free will, as you said.
Free will and choice.
I could have stayed right where I was born and raised and been happy back in the trailer park and the projects. And listen, I want to point something out. It's a justification. It's going to come off as a justification, possibly. I am so grateful we were poor. Yeah. I'm grateful I was born in the projects. I am grateful I grew up in trailer parks, and I'm grateful I was white trash. I'm grateful we didn't have a pot to piss in. I am grateful for every bit of that. Now, I wasn't then. But I knew that I knew that I knew because I knew what I knew, but didn't know how I knew it, that it was purposeful and it was part of developing what I was going to come forward and do as an adult.
It's your experience that you wanted before you came to this earth so that you can be the person you are now.
And one of the outlets of creativity and artistic expression that I would disappear into after I got all my chores done was television. And we've talked about it before, Soul Train, American Bandstand, Solid Gold. And then I went off into that world and did that. But my favorite person on television of all time was Carol Burnett.
Oh, I love Carol Burnett.
And I loved the Dean Martin roast.
Carol Burnett is a comedian for those people who don't know. Tell them who it is.
And if you don't know, please abolish yourself from planet Earth. I mean that with love and light. And I'm joking. Carol Burnett had it for like 10 years, 10 seasons, this wonderful variety show. She would open talking to the audience.
Yeah.
She would literally take questions from the audience and then in these beautiful Bob Mackie gowns, and she could answer anything and spin it with humor, connectability. Carol Burnett was a connector. And then she would have all of these skits that you would be pulled into the world of those stories. And it made me realize I can channel my imagination. My creativity isn't a nebulous thing out there like a fart in a whirlwind with no direction, that I could direct my imagination, creativity, and artistic expression for the joy of it via as a catalyst to connect to people and lift other people up that were having a worse time than me. And that ended up being part of why Liz and I are even here right now in front of 3 cameras, talking and speaking about what our authentic selves are, because whatever you put out into the universe will keep coming back to you over and over and over. When the doors and windows open, you have free will or choice to not choose it and go, let's see, you can look at me. You tell I'm too thin to be on TV. I need to gain some weight. All right. But it's like we could say, I don't feel thin enough. I don't feel smart enough. I don't feel attractive enough. There's so many things you have the free will to choose if you choose the lazy thinking path, or you can let your desire be 10 times bigger than your resistance about your body or how you feel or how you look.
So, Eddie, what do you think today we're going to learn? Can you give us some bullet points about what we're going to be learning today?
Look at my friend Liz just taking the lead here and moving me right to the next segment. Well, thank you, Liz. What we're going to learn today in our authenticity is simple keys to creating change. We're also going to learn how to design your own reality, and
that's a good one.
And how to listen to your inner voice to guide you into making decisions.
And we're also going to how to open to receive your increased good. We talk about that constantly. Release blocks to that good. We actually, all these things we've been talking about, we have already been talking about from the top of the show.
And guess what? We'll be talking about it again.
And all by stepping into your authentic self. You're welcome.
Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
So, simple keys to creating change. The first simple key to creating change is pay attention to what your heart mind It's whispering to you. Sometimes it'll scream and hit you upside the head with the Louisville Slugger. You will either hear it or not hear it because you'll either be ready or not ready. But one of the simple keys to creating change is listening to the whispers of your heart mind. Listen to the guidance of your gut brain. Pay attention to everything that keeps your attention. Pay attention to everything that you feel connected to. We've talked about attachment, which is low frequency. Think of it sort of like innocent vampires. And then we talk about connection. I was connected to creative artistic things. I was connected to entertainers that were humorous and lighthearted and uplifting and leading edge. Cher, when I was growing up, Sonny and Cher were leading edge. Carol Burnett was leading edge. Dean Martin and the Dean Martin's Roast. I don't know why they let us stay up late at night and watch that in the trailer park, child. But I fell in love with Dean Martin, Foster Brooks. All of them. I made the conscious decision that when I grew up, I wanted to make people feel good, which is a connected attribute, not an attachment attribute. Okay. And then,
no, I want to add to that is that I'm going to smack you.
She going to smack me. She going to cut me. Okay. She going to kiss me. She going to hug me.
Okay, so basically, I was just listening and thinking about what you just said. And I'm saying, yeah, you're right. I think that awareness and to listening to yourself. But I also think that's important is that you have to make a decision. That's important. A key to creating change. Make the decision to do it. Because if you don't take action on your thoughts, it's useless. You can be thinking and thinking about something, be aware of something, blah, 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 blah. But if you don't take action on what you're thinking and you become aware of, it becomes useless.
And if you take action before you line up your energy, that too is useless.
Exactly.
So you can make the decision to go toward where the doors and windows are open. If you still feel the resistance, you feel more resistance than you feel desire, and then you take action without lining up more desire, that too is useless. But here goes back to the thing. Well, I'm just going to move to number 2 before Liz pushes me along. Okay. She's my guardian angel today, y'all. In her houndstooth print. Look at her turtleneck. Ain't her turtleneck flawless?
It's flat.
Oh my goodness. So how to design your own reality.
Oh, okay.
Pay attention to the difference between attachment, which is a low frequency deprivation feeling, and connection to how it makes you feel in the gut, the heart, the creative brain, and the left brain simultaneously. Child, sister, girlfriend, diva, let me tell you, when you get the gut brain, the heart mind, the creative brain, and the logical brain all spinning at the same time like a well-oiled machine, you are tuned in, tapped in. You are summoning the energy that creates worlds. Your desire will be 1, 2, 3, 4 times higher and faster and more pure. And that's when you start seeing miracles happen left and right. Doors and windows will fly open and you will just be sucked through it like that little blonde chick on Poltergeist.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to say too. It's like all your chakras, and I think we talked about this in a few shows before, that all your chakras have to be spinning at a certain frequency all at the same time, simultaneously for you, in order for you to make that successful change. So Eddie, I am totally in agreement with you. That has to happen, because if half of your chakras and your actions are all discombobulated, it's not all at the same frequency. You're believing one thing, but you're feeling something else. You're thinking about something else in a negative fashion, but it doesn't work that way. Everything has to all be in alignment.
I just learned something new. I also learned how to do Liz sign language. I don't know who this was she was talking to, but looked like she was having a good time back in her 30s.
You're so bad.
You're so welcome.
Okay.
How to listen to your inner voice to guide you into making decisions. I think that's what I just been talking about.
Yeah. You can also, there's a few things you can do. You can meditate, you can take a walk outside, you can go to a peaceful place, you can, do something that gives you joy. Even watching television something that you haven't done in a long time, a show that you love that makes you laugh that you've seen it 20 million times, right?
Yep.
I mean, isn't there a show that you've seen, Eddie, that you've watched a million times and it makes you laugh every single time?
The Nanny, Mom, and the movie
Right.
is, I watch Working Girl all the time. I like to think I'm a little bit of a Tess McGill myself, okay?
Okay.
AKA Melanie Griffin.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
And why am I drawn to it? Because the good person wins in the end. They play the game fair and square, but their desire is bigger than their resistance.
So that gives you the feeling good sensation, and that's what we're looking for, right?
The feeling good sensation.
Feeling good. That's how I roll.
Should we tell them that we met in a strip club?
We did not.
She does these gyrations. It just takes me back. We shared the same cage back in the day.
You're sick.
We wore leopard print.
The next thing is how to open to receive your increased good. And I think that we've just been talking about that with all the previous statements. But just in fact, the simplest thing is just to open up that you want to do it. I want to open up to my highest good. I want to feel this. So again, a practical way of doing it, do something that gives you that feel good feeling.
Listen, there's a lot of people that come to the town we live in, especially to be actors, singers, dancers. And one of the mistakes a lot of people make coming here is, and I've seen it especially for 30 years living here, some people come to this town to be rich and famous.
Yeah. Oh, that's the mistake.
That is a huge mistake. It's a huge contradiction. And it's the opposite of open to receive your increased good, because you think, well, begin again. They're saying that your belief is an attachment, meaning when I have the wealth, I'll be happy. When I have the fame, I'll be happy. That is an attachment. If you can hold the feeling of why you came to this town. I came to this town because I was on vacation. Okay. And to see my friend Randy, and Randy put me on Star 98.7 for 2 nights from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Child, listen, I fell right off the damn turnip truck from North Carolina. I thought being on the radio out in Los Angeles was like being on the radio in Raleigh, Durham. And then I went back to my hotel room, the Safari Motor Inn with that bright yellow carpet. You're welcome. It was terrifying. And
yellow is the color.
It's locked in a time warp from the 70s. And the voicemail was packed. Then all of these celebrities were calling that had heard us on the radio. And I'm like, what's happening right now? And I came out here on vacation. He said, if you come out and see me, I'll hook you up. I didn't know what that meant. I thought it was the Safari Motor Inn. And then, then all the doors and windows flew open. Everything I wanted to do as a little boy to reach people, to make them feel good, is a connection, not an attachment. If you come to this town because you will die if you don't act, you love acting so much, or you feel like you're going to pine away if you don't sing or do your comedic stand-up routine, whatever it is, the more pure your creative connection to your authentic self is, the more obstacles will be removed and the more the good things will be put into place. I came out here in September of 95, was on the radio 4 times, was offered my own show on an FM radio format, and then moved here 2 months later, left my 3 jobs. All of that security, left corporate America, left the coat check girl at the nightclub, whoop, whoop, and left teaching dance classes and private lessons and doing design work and Christmas installation, and moved out here with nothing but $100 in my pocket by the time we got here.
I get that.
And I've been here ever since. And it's the same for everybody. If you open to receive and put your energy on the good part and not the block part, I'm telling you, miracle after miracle after miracle.
Well, don't you feel like what I'm hearing is that you, instead of wanting to be rich, wanting to be famous, you just wanted to go where your soul felt comfortable.
Authentic.
Exactly. You wanted to be who you are. You like getting in front of people. You like speaking.
I don't.
Oh, interesting.
No. I don't.
Well,
And so but here's the beauty of it.
but your talent.
I don't see it that way.
See, but I do. I look at it and I say, Eddie, you are so hysterical. Funny. Oh my
Hysterical.
God. Hysterical. But let me say from my perspective, okay, what I see before you naysay it, okay?
Oh.
So what I'm saying is that for you, you went towards your talent. You didn't think about, oh, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be wealthy. You didn't think that, right?
No.
No. But you did go towards your talent. That's what you relied upon. That's what you did.
No.
But that's what you did.
That's how it looks from on the outside.
But your actions did it.
My desire did it.
Well, your actions also did it. You came out here
on vacation.
On vacation, that's fine. But you,
fine.
you did do it.
Yeah, I came out here.
You did it. You were on the show. You did it, and as a result of your talent, you got this response, a positive response.
I
know you don't see it that way.
So
I know you don't see it that way, but that's what it is.
I don't see it as talent. I honestly don't. I see it as absolute, unequivocal, pure positive desire. And my desire is to connect, because I know how bad it feels to feel bad.
Yeah.
I know how bad it feels to feel bad and not even know why you feel bad.
Sure.
I know how bad in heart it feels in your heart, your head, and your gut when you do everything right and you work hard and you treat people really, really, really good, and some big old nasty thing pulls your ass back into the abyss and you start from square one all over again, and you don't know why life isn't fair until you flip the switch. And flipping the switch from not being connected to something you think having will make you then feel complete. You go straight to what you're connected to authentically inside of yourself that made you feel complete when you were in the trailer park and didn't have a pot to piss in. So it's why am I yelling? I'm yelling.
I know you're yelling. So I'm still telling you that it was your talent.
They said just agree with her.
That it was your talent that did that, because now you went out. Please. So now you went out to the radio station. You did your show. You utilized your talents and everything that you worked on besides your corporate whatever, but you did it. Mm-hmm. And whether or not you want to acknowledge it, that's what you did.
I am not.
And as a result of that, you were able to get the acknowledgments, the job, all of those things, the ability to move out here because of your belief in yourself and you're utilizing your talents.
Okay, she said talent 37 times.
I know. Hello.
But it's okay. So what they said to me while she was saying talent, other than for me to keep my mouth closed long enough for her to finish, because I kept interrupting you, and I apologize for that, is what she is calling talent was my authentic self shining through this lump of meat suit.
That's right.
So she's
your physical self.
It's her. She's exactly right. Because I've learned to say that.
Yeah.
She's exactly right. How I interpret it. If I came out here, quote, my mind doesn't even work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
I can see it. I can see that.
Listen, my own mom said one time, I'd been out here for 20 years, and Mom said, well, Edward, I'm not like you. I need to know exactly where my check is coming from every week. And I don't need to be the center of attention. Yeah. And I don't have a desire to be famous. And I went, how long have you known me? And she was like, what are you talking about? I said, I never went out to LA to be famous. That doesn't interest me.
Exactly. I agree with you.
And my desire, and connection to my authentic desire to be a connector with other people and give them the tools to help them lift themselves up too was so high, fast, and pure that it can be called lots of earthly names like talent.
Expression of your soul.
Boom.
Your soul expression.
It doesn't matter what you call it. It is something that other authentic people respond to.
Absolutely.
But people who, like my mom, who never left North Carolina.
But that wasn't part of her path.
It wasn't. No, I'm not saying it was or it had to be, but that was the path she picked. She could not wrap her brain around even living client to client, session to session, and not ever knowing if there was going to be somebody called that week or not. She needed the steady, predictable lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I thought I did too, until my authentic self shot through the roof. And I let it shoot through the roof, AKA talent.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I also, the soul expression, that's another one. But this is something that was meant to be. And I think this pulls in what I was talking about earlier, those certain moments, those certain opportunities that you drew to yourself as part of your path. I mean, it's like,
and we all do.
All of us do that, and the next one is releasing, and I think it's related to the one previously, how to open to receive your increased good and release your blocks to that good. And I think we talked about it clearly.
We do. And the more you look at what you do want, how it feels, the
Exactly.
connection versus the attachment, I'm not kidding, the blocks fall away.
Exactly. So again, remember, ease of action. When you're doing something, when it's easy for you, that's the sign from the universe to show you that you're going in the right direction. The last one is all about stepping into your authentic self. So again, the results are telling. That's how you know when you're in that place of peace, when you're in that place of excitement, when you're in doing what you love the most, like you got on the radio show and then you eventually moved out here. I went to Asia. I was a makeup artist. I had $27 in my pocket, and I flew from Japan to the Philippines. And it just so happens my friends helped me, and I was on the catwalk like 2 weeks later, and doing all kinds of photographic. I was on 15 magazine covers within a month.
Sometimes the life your soul came here for you as a human to live is so much bigger and greater and brighter than your human brain will let you believe in the moment. However, the more you feel it, allow it, listen to the whispers that feel like you're connecting to a greater force out in the world, the faster, the easier, the more fluid things will come to you. So now we're going to do a really quick recap. What we spoke about today. You know what, child, please? If you're just tuning in, you're watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyuk.
And we've been talking a lot about living your authentic self and the ways to do that. And here's some of the ways you do it. Simple, natural keys to creating change. The first thing is literally be aware of the change you desire and then flow with it. How to design your own reality. You're doing it whether you know you're doing it or not. And we gave you the keys today to help you actually do that in an easier way. And then how to listen to your inner voice to guide you in making decisions. We all have it. It's alive and well. And the more you sink into it just for the joy of it, the more it will open the doors and windows for you.
And how to open to receive your increased good and release blocks to that good. We did talk about that earlier, and all about stepping into your authentic self. So again, thoughts, desires, openness, taking the moment to know who you are and choosing for yourself and taking action. That will help you in expressing your authentic self.
Now, Liz, what was your favorite part of living your authentic self? Besides your cute blouse, it's all nice and perfect.
And flat.
And flat.
I think that a reminder of what it is in the process of getting and living your authentic self, that was my favorite thing.
My favorite thing was recognizing a series of things I was connected to as a child that kept coming to me in bigger, better, brighter, bolder ways that I allowed to come to me so that I could get to the next level of living my life purpose via my authentic self.
Talent.
See, boys can cut girls too. My blouse ain't as flat as hers. But let me tell you. So I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyuk.
Together we're Liz Eddie.
We're Liz Eddie Scatty.
You've been watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie Scatty. You've been watching Living Your Authentic Self. And until we see you next week, please remember to keep your fabulous thoughts, feelings, and frequencies high, fast, and pure so that you can literally unlock the universe within. Right, Liz?
Absolutely, Eddie. Thanks.